My daughters told me I wasn't their real father, so I stopped acting like one. No more breakfasts, no more homework help, nothing. It all started on a normal Tuesday afternoon. I had just finished another long day at work and was looking forward to a quiet evening. The house was eerily still when I walked in. Something felt off. My wife was sitting at the kitchen table. Her eyes glued to her phone, and the girls were nowhere to be found. The moment I set my briefcase down, my wife looked up at me, her face tight with something I couldn't quite place. "Where are the girls?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She didn't answer immediately, just looked down at her phone again, her fingers scrolling without purpose. That's when I heard it, the faint sound of voices, muffled, coming from the back of the house. It was strange because the back door was supposed to be locked. I walked toward the sound, thinking nothing of it at first, but as I stepped into the hallway, I caught sight of my daughters through the open door of the living room. They were sitting on the couch, their heads huddled together. I couldn't hear everything, but the words I caught made my stomach churn. "We don't even have to call Dad anymore," one of them said. "He's not our real father. I can't believe Mom married him." The words hit me like a slap. My breath caught in my chest, and I stood frozen. How could they think that? I had raised them from the moment they were born. I had been there for every scraped knee, every school play, every late-night homework session. I was their father, whether they wanted to admit it or not. I should have walked in and confronted them then, but something inside me told me to hold back. It was like a wave of confusion and hurt had crashed over me, and I needed a moment to figure out what was going on. I backed away quietly, but my heart was hammering in my chest. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. The girls were distant, almost cold. They didn't look me in the eye, didn't ask about my day, didn't even talk to me unless they had to. My wife didn't bring it up either. She just sat there quietly, drinking her wine, not meeting my gaze either. That night, I stayed up long after everyone else had gone to bed. The words echoed in my mind, "Not our real father." How could they think that? What had I missed? I replayed every moment, every interaction with the girls. I had always tried to do my best for them, to be present, to be the father figure they needed after their biological father had disappeared from the picture. The next morning, I woke up early. My wife was still asleep, but the girls were already up, huddled over their phones at the kitchen table. The tension in the air was palpable. It wasn't like things had been before. There was a coldness between us now that hadn't been there just days ago. I needed answers, but more than that, I needed to understand why they felt this way. So, I did something I never thought I would do. I asked them, "Do you two think I'm not your father?" They didn't even look up at me. One of them muttered, "You're not. You never really were." I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. It was like I was hearing it in slow motion, my heart pounding with every word. They didn't even look like they cared that they were shattering me. I stood there, staring at them, trying to process what had just happened. They weren't upset. They weren't crying. They weren't even angry. They had just casually dismissed everything I had ever done for them. "Well," I said, my voice tight, "if that's how you feel, then I guess I'm not going to act like a dad anymore." They didn't respond, their attention fully absorbed by whatever they were reading on their screens. I didn't know if I meant it or if it was just a gut reaction, but I said it, and the words hung in the air like an ultimatum. I turned around and left the room without waiting for a reply. For the next few days, I followed through. I stopped doing the little things I'd always done for them. I didn't make breakfast. I didn't remind them of their responsibilities. I didn't ask them how their day was going or help with their homework. I just stopped. I'm not sure if they noticed at first. They had become so used to me doing everything for them that they probably didn't even realize what had changed. But soon, it became apparent. The first time one of them looked at me with confusion was on the fourth morning. I was sitting at the table, reading the paper, when she came down,